I have had the honorable pleasure of playing the greatest demolition racing game from a very young age, and that game is none other than Test Drive Eve of Destruction. Let's take a trip back to 2004, a time when demolition racing was loud, chaotic, and surprisingly heartfelt, thanks to Test Drive Eve of Destruction. For many players, this wasn't just another arcade racer, it was a game that embraced the dirt-covered, duct-taped world of rural American demolition derbies, complete with rusty junkers, wild event types, and a tone that mixed humor with grit. Despite flying under the radar commercially, it became a cult classic, earning a passionate following that persists even today. I want to explore what made Eve of Destruction such a unique experience, its themes, design, philosophy, gameplay mechanics, quirks, and ultimately, why it still matters. Now, what is Eve of Destruction? Test Drive Eve of Destruction, released on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox Original in 2004, it was developed by Monster Games, the same studio later known for Excite Truck, Excitebots, and contributions to NASCAR games. But unlike traditional racing titles of the era, which focused on sleek cars and high-speed tracks, Eve of Destruction drove into something more of a small-town demolition derby culture. Instead of Lamborghinis and Porsches, you drive beat-up station wagons, old police cruisers, farm trucks, school buses, and sometimes even vehicles you'd never think to race, like hearses. The game captured the personality of local county fair racing, where cars are cheap, events are dangerous, and bragging rights mean more than prize money. Let's talk about why this setting matters. Most racing games celebrate precision. They're about performance tuning, apex lines, and the beauty of automotive engineering. Eve of Destruction said, forget all that. It embraced imperfect machines and imperfect conditions. The rural setting isn't just a backdrop, it defines the entire tone. Tracks are made from dirt, hay bales, shipping containers, and tractor tires. The audience is rowdy, standing behind flimsy wooden fences. Cars rattle, smoke, misfire, and feel like they might fall apart. This wasn't about professionalism, it was about survival, risk, and entertainment. The authenticity of this atmosphere comes from Monster Games' attention to detail. They didn't just build a game, they captured a lifestyle. When you played it, you felt like you were a part of that scrappy racing scene. One of the biggest strengths of Eve of Destruction is the incredible variety of event types. Rather than limiting players to a single derby format, the game built an entire festival of vehicular insanity. Some of the highlights to recognize include traditional demolition derby, which is classic car standing chaos, reverse gear, and where American muscle becomes your best friend. Figure 8 racing, where the intersection in the middle is a guaranteed highlight reel of near misses and full speed collisions. Just try not to get stuck in the crossfire of cars speeding towards you, please. Suicide races, where one team drives clockwise and the other counterclockwise. Enough said about that. In gauntlet races, where you drive a hearse or limo while every other racer tries to destroy you. They will be flying towards you from the headlights to the taillights, so watch out for this intense race. Trailer races, pull something fragile behind you, like a boat, and try to keep it intact. Don't get your trailer detached or you will be eliminated. School bus races. Large, clumsy, and absolutely hilarious. The school bus race will have you laughing and screaming, especially if you play with others. Soccer, which is literally soccer with your vehicle of choice. And yes, that includes the bus, which will always stay superior to score goals. Test Drive practically invented the idea of Rocket League, just without the boost and crazy mechanics. Now for my two favorite races, which I have saved for last. The first being Detention. Become a school bus of destruction, or a race car of fear for what is coming your way. If you are the bus, you will be demolishing your way through every last car in a figure 8 racetrack until you are the last man standing, unless your time runs out. Choose to be a rusty junker, and you will be weaving your way through the competitors and the big behemoth of a bus heading your way. Just don't get hit. And last but not least, Battle. Set yourself on a free-to-roam map and don't get hit by other cars or chickens wheezing by your vehicle. Yes, chickens. They're your friend and enemy. Shoot them out of your vehicle and see the damage it will do to your fellow friends. This game mode is the highlight for a reason. One of the most charming aspects of the game is its career mode, which tells a simple but effective story. You are a young driver in a rural American town trying to rise through the demolition derby ranks. with little more than determination and a handful of junk cars. You start with almost no money, driving your car that looks like it was pulled from a ditch. As you compete, you earn cash, unlock events, and slowly improve your fleet. But here's the key. You don't buy brand new cars, you buy old wrecks, patch them up, and accept that they might not last many races. This grounded progression system reinforces the gritty, realistic tone of the game. Every vehicle feels like a personal investment. When a car eventually takes too much damage and becomes unusable, it feels like losing a teammate. The career mode isn't about luxury, it's about pride. Let's talk about the physics and driving feel. This wasn't just sloppy fun. Despite the comedic tone, EVA Destruction had surprisingly solid driving physics. Vehicles feel weighty, impacts feel violent and consequential, tires slip realistically on loose dirt, frames bend and wheels wobble after heavy crashes. The game walked a fine line between arcade fun and simulation realism. The result? Chaotic but believable gameplay. It also emphasized damage modeling, something many games of the time only experimented with. Damage affected handling, meaning each collision had consequences. A broken radiator, a bent axle, or a missing wheel changed how your car behaved. This added strategy and survival mattered just as much as speed. Now on to the humor, personality, and that Midwestern charm. Few racing games have the personality that EVA Destruction does. From the event announcer's deadpan commentary to the quirky small-town details, the game never takes itself too seriously. Here are some examples. First off, the trailer race, where someone inevitably loses a boat halfway through the track. The flagpole race, where you have to circle a pole each lap, guaranteeing chaos. The Psycho Pit, a destruction derby arena with unpredictable obstacles. The game feels like a blend of comedy and danger, exactly how many real-life demolition derbies function. Now, why did the game gain a cult following? Despite not being a major commercial hit, Eve of Destruction developed a strong, dedicated fan base, such as myself. The game had a unique concept. Few games explored demolition derby culture with such authenticity. It had strong execution, great physics, clever events, balanced difficulty, and replayability. It certainly had professionality. It felt like a passion project, not a corporate product. The local multiplayer, which I miss very much with games nowadays. The split-screen mode was a blast, perfect for parties with friends and family. And lastly, the timeless gameplay. While graphics age, fun doesn't. The gameplay loop remains engaging today. I still play this masterpiece with my friends to this day, and we always have a blast. Although the Test Drive series faded and the studio moved on to other projects, Eve of Destruction influenced many later titles in the vehicular combat and destruction racing genre. You can see its DNA in games like Flat Out Ultimate Carnage, Wreckfest, Next Car Game from Bugbear, and various indie demolition racers. I still point this game out when someone is asking for a thrilling racing game that won't leave them bored. Eve of Destruction is one of the most creative and enjoyable racing games of its generation. Now, why does Eve of Destruction still matter today, you might ask? In a world where modern racing games focus on hyper-realism, glossy visuals, and complex tuning, Eve of Destruction stands out as a reminder that fun, imagination, and spectacle are just as important. It celebrates the underdog, chaotic creativity, the joy of smashing things, community-driven motorsports, and the charm of flawed machines. It represents a style of game developed that prioritizes fun first. To wrap up, Test Drive Eve of Destruction isn't just a game about racing, it's a game about attitude, ingenuity, and embracing chaos. It captured a part of American culture rarely shown in gaming, celebrated it with respect and humor, and turned it into a memorable experience that players still revisit decades later. So whether you're nostalgic for demolition derbies, a fan of unique racing games, or simply someone who appreciates well-crafted chaos, Eve of Destruction remains a standout example of creative games design done right. Crash, destroy, and be destroyed. I promise this game will not leave you disappointed.